Yep.
Hey.
Habari Gani.
Nia. D. Sit here.
Yep. So what's up, y'all? I'm here with Keino. His principle for today is Nia. It is our fifth principle in Kwanzaa, and Nia is purpose in Swahili. It's to make our collective job the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. So Nia, I feel like, is one of the most important things for our community. I feel like, especially within the Black community, we lose our purpose sometimes, and we forget about how hard our ancestors have worked to get us to the place that we are right now.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to ask you, what does Nia mean to you?
Nia means a recall, recollection, or rededication to where we're trying to go. When we think about the brokenness in our community, when we think about some of the challenges, the Ma'afa, going back to that, the goal is, in my opinion, as a mental health provider, to reclaim our African consciousness. And so the purpose, everything we do, from this celebration to coming together as a family, as a ritual, once a year, twice a year, it doesn't matter, should be based upon rebuilding.
Right.
Everything we do, from our dance to how we speak to each other, to how we care for our young people.
Reclaiming what's ours.
The reclamation is in everything, and that's what it said. I mean, in the principle right there, collective vocation.
Yes.
We all should be working toward that end. So that's Nia.
And in what ways have you demonstrated Nia, do you feel like? So let me do context right quick.
Right.
So the reason why I chose you for Nia is because you are well-spoken, and I know you're heavily devoted to what your vocation is now, which is dealing with mental health.
Yes.
So the reason why I chose you for Nia is because I feel like you exemplify this the most within my circle of mentors and close friends. So I wanted to ask you, in what ways have you demonstrated Nia?
For me, it's always around connecting, reconnecting with community. My journey spans many academic institutions, many cultural centers.
Right.
And so what I found is, when I get on campus, I try to connect with the community, find out what's happening, what's been happening, who are the active students who look like me, who think like me, who vibe like me, where do we need to get the money from? What programs are needed, what programs are successful, how do I support those programs? If we're moving toward that goal, those things have already been in motion. There are already people in motion and who are here who've been working on this path. So when I come in, I try to become a part of that, be a voice, be an advocate, be a shoulder, be a professional in what I do. And so I'm always looking to align with those who are trying to do the work, just acknowledging our Blackness, acknowledging our shared history and shared heritage. If we can do that, if we can just come together and just...
He's about to give us keys, y'all.
Keys. Well, if we can do that and we begin to reaffirm who we are, reaffirm the importance of being on one accord, then we begin to come up with a plan of action. Right. Purpose. Purpose must take shape, must take life, must take form. And so when you look at the Kwanzaa as a celebration, you're looking at not something necessarily to take away from those Christian celebrations or Hebrew celebrations.
Right.
It is something meant to delve deeper into the African spirit and reclaim what was lost. How do we do that? I can talk about these things all day.
Hours.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I like the way you keep saying "re" before each thing, because it's present. It's been present. We've seen it in our history. Our ancestors have built us upon that foundation.
Absolutely.
So I like how you're saying re-evaluate how we do things, reestablish, reinvigorate. That prefix is just what we need to do. To think about, not just only throughout Kwanzaa, but like throughout our year.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say thank you for saying "re" instead of saying like we haven't had it at all.
No, absolutely. And I have two small children, and we've done Kwanzaa in July.
Yeah.
And the goal is to be able to talk about the principles beyond just the scope of December.
Yeah.
All right, to talk about the principle of purpose. Okay, son, well, tell me your purpose for being, and how does your purpose for being impact the lives of other people who look like you, other persons of African descent? Tell me how you're going to help. You know, how are you going to pitch in? What is your role? How does that help the black community? I want to be a football player. Okay, well, how does that help the black community?
Yeah.
If you're going to be a football player and you're going to live in this house up on the Palisades, what are you doing from the Palisades to come back down here and help the community?
Sankofa.
And that's the goal, that's the charge. I mean, so however we do it, we have to be intentional. We have to learn and reclaim the language of our ancestors. So you say Habari Gani, I say Nia. You know, these are important. You know, I say Asante Sana, you know, which simply means thank you very much. So we reclaim the language that we've lost. You know, we reclaim the connectedness of our family, the idols and the things that we have hewn together to speak to our spiritual self. You know, when we look at the Sankofa, when we look at this lion, this powerful beat, when we look at the Adinkra, all of this has purpose.
Yes.
To bring us back to that one mindset of where we were and where we will reclaim.
I was just saying that the Kwanzaa and everything around like Swahili language and people, since it's Pan-African, it's like symbolic. Like everything is symbolic.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy, like, because there's multiple like interpretations. Like for like the colors for Kwanzaa,
Right.
you can say like it's for the.
Yeah, these are our Pan-African colors here,
Yeah.
introduced to us by Dr. Well, not Dr., but the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
Yeah.
He gave us these colors as the Pan-African colors to reconnect us and reunite us with the continent of Africa.
Yeah.
It's interesting when you look at many countries in the continent of Africa, they've adopted these colors as the primary. You know, when you look at Ghana, the black star is the black candle.
Yeah.
So they had it right. And we should not disconnect or be afraid of that.
Right.
You know, when we look at Swahili, Swahili is one language, but there are many objects from throughout the continent on this table. So when you look at the Adinkra, which comes from the Akan, comes from Ghana. When you look at the Sankofa, this is an imagery that was actually rooted in ancient Kemet, but also taken place or reused in Ghana. So, you know, these are things that we want to acknowledge the continuation.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm just excited about others learning and re-engaging in these practices and being very intentional.
Thank you. Harambe.
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 Harambe. Harambe. Blessings. All right, brother. I appreciate you, man.